your expectations when it comes to your health? Have you ever thought about that? Do you think about your health? Or is it just kind of something that's there? You take it for granted. You may think about it here or there, but it's not really a big part of your mind. Many of us are guilty of taking our health for granted. We just are. We don't really think about it. We just assume it's there. We're busy. We got stuff to do. And so thinking about our health is just not something we want to do. And we think, David, I'm good. Or at least that's what we think. But what if we aren't? What if our health is not really where it needs to be? Is it something we should fret and worry over? Have you got that relative who always frets about their health all the time? We all do. But is that something you should do? Our health should be a part of our life. It should be an integral part of our life, like any other part, though. It's not the most important thing, and it's not the least important thing. We shouldn't ignore our health and think, oh, I'm fine, I'll be all right. Or we shouldn't worship our health, and that's all we think about. We want to be balanced, is it? So what we're going to do today is talk about our health and what is the right way to approach it for every man out there. So let's jump in.
Welcome to the Confident Man Podcast, empowering men with the confidence they need to live their adventure. Now, here is your host, David Maxwell.
Hey guys, welcome to the Confident Man Podcast. I'm so glad you joined me here today, and I'm so glad you want to be a better man. Now, have you ever had an expectation for something being great and maybe it wasn't? You have friends tell you about this great restaurant and everybody says, oh, it's incredible. And you go and you get a meal and it's just kind of meh. It's all right. It's not your favorite, but it's okay. But you had this expectation and you kind of wonder, maybe my expectation was too high. Or maybe you had a friend one time who set you up on a blind date and man, they just sold this date as the greatest. This woman was practically a supermodel. And then you go on the date and it's a disaster. She's kind of a psycho and you want to never talk to that friend again. We've all had things like that happen. Now, I'm a college football fan. I have a favorite team I love. And over the years, it's been an up and down journey. We're not a team that's contending for championships every year. So every summer, I do the same thing. I start getting excited and I start saying, this could be the year. This could be the year. And I have this expectation that starts up. Sometimes they're met pretty good and sometimes they're not. And I turn games off because I'm wanting to cry. That's just the way it is. Expectations are a part of life for all of us as men. We put our expectations in things, like relationships and sports, a favorite vacation or whatever. But what about our health? Have you ever thought about that? What should your expectations be for your health? Should you have expectations? How should you live as a healthy man? Should we really think about it a lot or just kind of do the best we can? And that's a struggle for a lot of men. It really is, because we have tons of responsibilities. We've got things to do. We're incredibly busy. Stuff is going on. And our health can oftentimes either be forgotten or feel like it's just one more thing added to the list. Oh, there's one more thing I've got to do. But the truth is, our health is important. It can help us enjoy life. It can help us enjoy our success in life, or it can rob our life. It can rob that success. And you may say, well, gosh, Dave, that seems pretty extreme, but it's true. If you don't have any kind of health, if you're not healthy and you're fighting things, it can harm a lot of your life. So what we want to do as men is have a good expectation for our health. Figure out what we need to do to be healthy. We don't want to be crazy and make our health all we focus on, but we don't want to ignore our health. We want to be balanced. To achieve a good balance in our health, what we want to do is change our mindset, to have the right kind of mindset when it comes to our health. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about how to recognize outside pressure. We're going to have a realistic view of our life, and we're going to let our journey unfold. First thing we want to do is talk about recognizing outside pressure. Now, we have to understand that outside pressure's always been there for men, and it's there today on our healthiness, what we should look like. It's not an excuse. It's just something we do have to deal with. It is there. You don't want to not recognize it and ignore it, but you also don't want to give into it and try to fit the mold that everybody puts you in. It's a reality that all men deal with today. There is a pressure when it comes to us looking a certain way. Every generation has had different kinds of pressures. And today, especially over the last 20, 30 years, we've really seen this pressure for men to be kind of this ultimate physique. They want to, have muscles. They want to have a six-pack ab. They want to do all these things. And a lot of guys are struggling with that because it's really hard to do. In fact, young men over the years, as that pressure for six-pack abs has come, a lot of young men have eating disorders. They struggle with eating disorders, which is something normally people saw in women, but more and more men started struggling with it. Why? Because they felt the body image pressure. They wanted to get six-pack abs. It was very hard, so they began suffering from eating disorders trying to get it. Now, men throughout history have wanted to look a certain way. They always have. And usually it has to do with muscles. Men want to be bigger. They lift weights. They do things. And bigger is better is how a lot of guys saw it. They just did. And really what happened as science increased, we saw guys using science, things like steroids and all these things that guys have used to try and look bigger. Why are they doing that? To be healthier? No, it's to fit an image. It's not making them healthier. In fact, sometimes it does the opposite. But they've had this image. I want to look this way. I want to be a rock. I want to look like the rock. And so guys will do shortcuts and stuff like that. But if you look at it, it's very interesting how men's pressure has changed over the years. It just has. Look at movies. Look at movies 50, 60 years ago, 30 years ago, and today. We see action heroes, we see stars. What do they look like? Were they all ripped? No, they weren't. Did they all have six-pack abs? No, they didn't. But they were still leading men. They were still men that everybody looked up to at that day. So what we've seen is pressure changes. Society's view changes for men, for women, for everybody. But the thing that's interesting is today, all the movie stars and people, they have a certain look, but they also have a team of people who help them get that look. They have dietitians who will set their plan of what they're going to eat. They'll have chefs make the food for them. They'll have trainers who spend hours upon hours on them, focused on them to look a certain way. And they look that way for a movie, but the truth is those guys don't look that way all the time. Those guys put in a lot of work for some scenes of a movie, and then they go on and actually live a real life. They may be in good shape, but to look that certain way takes a lot of work. And when it comes to our health, we have to understand that maybe we're putting ourselves under needless pressure. And that's important for us to understand. Too many men have this standard of health that's almost impossible to reach. And so what they do is they get discouraged because the truth is the percentage of body fat you have to actually have a full 6 or 8 pack is very difficult to maintain. It just is. Some people try to do it quick ways that aren't healthy, and that's not good. They want shortcuts. They want to do that, and that really is the opposite of healthy. And you don't want to give into that pressure. As men, we want to approach our pressure from a different perspective. We have to desire to be healthy for the benefits of being healthy, not because of the pressure society puts on us. It's not about looking like a movie star. It's not about looking like someone else. It's about you being healthy as a man. So we don't want to buy that lie. We don't want to try to look like some influencer who that's all they do with their life. We have a life. Our main goal is to be healthy so we can fulfill our calling as men. The second thing we want to do is have a realistic view of life. One of the best things we can do when it comes to be healthy is just be realistic. Not to live in some fantasy world and not to ignore. Being realistic is not an excuse to not be healthy. It's a recognition of the reality that you're in. It's a recognition that this is a real life. You have real decisions to make. And being healthy can be part of it, but you have to be realistic about what you can do with it. So in order to be realistic, we got to look at a few key areas. One of them is just time realities. There's some time realities that every one of us has to focus on. Time is the same for everybody, and we only have 24 hours in a day. Now, you can look at that from the perspective of everybody has 24 hours in a day. So we can do more than oftentimes we think we can. And that's true. But we want to direct that time for the best way possible. You want to be a steward of your time. You want to take your time and use it the best way. And being healthy will take some of that time. To be healthy, you're going to need time to do it, but it shouldn't take all the time. Unless you have limitless wealth, you don't have the time to work out like a crazy man. You probably have a job. You probably have something you do to earn money. If you had limitless money and could hire the chefs, the dietitians, the trainers, maybe you could look like that person on the movie screen. But the truth is, most of us have a life outside of our health. And we want to be realistic about that. If you have a job, they have expectations on you. They expect things from you. They expect you to show up to work. They expect you to do your work, to put the time in. If you're in relationships, if you have a girlfriend or if you're married, they're going to expect some time with you. Now, you may work out with them together. That could be a hobby y'all do together. But most of the time, they don't want to just work out with you all the time. They want to be with you. They want to spend time with you. And that's good if you want to build a relationship. And then if you have children, your children deserve a lot of your time because they're your children. It's what you do as a dad. You spend time with them. You mentor them. All of these things are realities of life that we live in. We can't just focus on our health all the time. Health is a part of our life, but all these other things are a part of our life too, and more. And what we want to do is focus on our health in the right way and deal with it. Because managing your time is one of the keys to being healthy. You're healthy not only physically, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally. All of these areas happen when you manage your time well. So those are the time realities we need to understand. You have 24 hours a day. You can do something with that, yes, but you also have other things besides your health. So you want to put your health in the right perspective. The other thing when it comes to a realistic view of life is we can't have the attitude of it's all or nothing. And too many men are like this. They don't focus on their health because they have this attitude of, well, I can't do everything. In other words, you have a guy who says, well, I can't run a marathon, so I'm not going to do anything. Well, is that really the right attitude? It's kind of ridiculous. But a lot of men are that way. I can't commit to doing everything, so I'm going to commit to nothing. And that's just not good for your health. You could train for a marathon, but even if you can't, maybe you could do something easier. Maybe train for a 5K or a 10K or something like that. You don't have to have all or nothing. You may say, well, I'd like to do a marathon. And you may. But maybe right now in your life, that's just not feasible. The time to train for that's not feasible. So maybe you train for a 10K. It's a lot less time, a lot less training, but you're still doing something to be healthy. Some guys say, well, I can't make it to the gym. I don't know what to do. I can't go to the gym. I don't have time. But what a lot of those guys don't understand is you can do a lot of things yourself at home, either buy some weights for your home or do body weight training. A lot of people forget there's a lot of things you can do to be healthy where you don't have to go somewhere. You can do a lot right there at your house. And it's not an all or nothing thing. The right attitude to have is something is better than nothing. In other words, if you can't go to the gym, what can you do? If you can't train for a marathon, what can you do? And the good thing about that is when you get that attitude, your health and achieving good, healthy habits become something that's more realistic. And it's something that you're more likely to stick with. Another realistic view we have to gain as men is to understand that our health is part of our life. Many guys think that exercise is the only thing they can do. I have to go to the gym. It's what I do to be healthy. But it's just not. There's other hobbies and things you can do that actually bring a healthy aspect to it and you have fun doing. Some guys enjoy hiking. They go out hiking with other people, so they get to spend time with other people. They get outside into nature and they're walking, they're hiking, they're enjoying that. Some guys enjoy biking together or going kayaking together or whatever. You can name whatever it is. There's clubs out there you can join. You can do activities with other people. And those are healthy things to do, but they're also fun things to do. They're things where you build community, you enjoy life. Being healthy should be a part of your life. It shouldn't be just this little section you only do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from this time to this time. Being healthy should be a part of your life, something you enjoy, something you look forward to. You don't want to just put it into one little box. It doesn't always have to be something you dread. A lot of people think that exercise is something I hate. I hate exercise, so I'm only going to do it when I have to. When they may find activities they like, where they get exercise, but they're activities they enjoy. And guess which one they're going to do a whole lot more? The things they enjoy. It's just how we are. Now, this will have some trial and error. You may try something and think, maybe I'll like hiking, but then you don't like hiking. Maybe you enjoy biking, maybe you don't, or kayaking, or whatever. Whatever you do, you want to find something you enjoy, because if you enjoy it, you're more likely to do it. Another realistic side of health is the cost of health. The other side I'm talking about is when it comes to being healthy, the truth is it's going to cost you. It just is. You'll probably have to change from doing what's easy to doing something that takes more effort, especially at first when you're building new habits. Eating unhealthy is easy. There's fast food restaurants all over the place. There's things you can do all over. Exercising does take time. It does take energy. Even if you're doing something fun, like if you go hiking or whatever, those things are going to cost you. And the thing we have to understand is that our health has a cost, and we're going to pay that cost one way or the other. You're going to pay the cost up front, doing the work to be healthy, or you're going to pay the cost later by being unhealthy. Being healthy isn't something we can just wish for. It's not like striking the lottery or something. Healthiness is something we have to put the time in. And we have to understand that everything demands a cost. It just does. Working out takes time, but we get the benefit. We feel better. We have a better attitude, everything. Relationships take time. So why wouldn't our health take time? And we've got to understand that if you want to be healthy, there is a cost. There just is. You can try and do things that are fun, that you enjoy, and all this other stuff. But sometimes it just comes down to you just got to do it. You got to put the time in if you want to get the results. And that's a reality when it comes to our health. Everything has a cost. I'm watching a show called Psychopaths, and it's an anime, of course. And it's a world where there's this computer system that basically runs everything. And it's an amazing thing. The people can have a certain look in their house and the entire house changes. They can have the computer change their clothes for them, pick outfits for them. It's almost a utopian type world. But the problem is everybody's lost their individuality. They've lost their freedom, and they're basically being controlled by this computer program. So they have all these benefits, but there is a cost. And we have to understand that in life. If you want to be healthy, you've got to be realistic that it's going to have a cost. It just is. It's not going to happen because you wish it. It's going to happen because you work for it. We're only going to get healthier by paying the cost and doing the work, but I promise you, you will love the benefits. The third healthy expectation we need to have is to understand that we need to let our journey unfold. Living healthy is a journey. It's not a destination. It isn't arriving at a specific body fat percentage or a specific weight or a specific waist size. It's a lifestyle that you continually live. And you want to find that lifestyle that fits you, that you enjoy. And the thing we want to remember is that this journey is very individualistic. You can be inspired by others. You can learn from others. But your health journey is yours. And that means what you're going to do is different from other people. You're going to try this and try that, and you're going to go here and go there and do this and do that. And you're going to figure out, hey, this fits me. This is my healthy journey. And what we want to do is focus on that journey from a few different areas. The first area is we got to understand that we're going to be growing. You're going to be growing. Your health journey is one of constant growth. You're never going to get to the place where this is it. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to eat these 12 things every day. I'm going to exercise this way every other day. This is exactly my health journey, and it's never going to change. It's just not true. Where you are now is not where you'll be 5 years from now. It's not where you'll be 10 years from now. You're going to grow. You're going to learn. You're going to try new things. You're going to maybe figure out that, hey, I enjoy this, but I like this better. So you change. Or I used to work out like this. Now I work out like this. Or I found a different way of eating that I enjoy even more. And this is why you commit to that lifelong journey, because it gives you a chance to grow. When people only do short-term health kicks, a lot of time, what a lot of those guys end up doing is just burning out and not trying anything. You know the guy, every year they have the new diet. Every year they join the new program. And this is it. This is what we're going to do. And then 6 months later, they're not doing anything. And then the next year, they're going to try it again. And then 6 months later, they're not doing anything. They're not growing. They're not learning. And when you know that, okay, this is a journey, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to grow and I'm going to learn, you're able to really get into some good things that you enjoy. A lot of men go really deep into something thinking this is how I'm going to do it. And the problem is, especially when it comes to exercise or types of working out, they go hardcore from nothing and they get injured. It's like a guy who wants to go run a half marathon in 2 weeks when he's been sitting on the couch eating chocolate donuts all the time. He's going to hurt himself. And then he's going to give himself an excuse and say, well, I tried, but it just didn't work. And that's not the way you want to approach it. You want to approach it as, okay, I'm going to grow. And maybe that means growing a little slower. Maybe it means learning things at a slower pace, but it's going to be a healthier way to do it. And what you want to do is look long term. Okay, maybe I'm overweight right now. Maybe I want to lose weight. Well, I want to look at the long-term journey. What can I do to grow so this weight problem doesn't stay with me forever? It doesn't come and go, but I get to the point where it doesn't bother me anymore. That's the kind of growth you want to seek, and that's the journey we're on. The other thing we want to look at is variety. There isn't one way to be healthy. There are many different aspects of being healthy, and people love all kinds of them. Some people love weight training and resistance training, and that's good and that's healthy. But some people also like biking, doing triathlons, running marathons. There's all kinds of things, Pilates and other stuff that you can do that a lot of people get into and they figure out, hey, I like this. I enjoy this. You want to find what fits you, and then you want to try new things. Men love variety. We all do. We love trying new things, doing new things. Variety also keeps life interesting. So when you try new aspects of stuff, when you do things that are active and get you outside, you never know. You may find something new that you really enjoy, or a few years from now, you shift from doing this to doing this. That's the constant tweaking and learning. That's part of the growth journey, but it also brings variety. It opens us up. It brings new things into our life, and it makes us being active something we can keep doing. We don't get stuck in a rut. We don't stay boxed in all the time. We're trying new stuff. We're doing things differently. It helps us maintain a healthy lifestyle because it keeps us interested in it time and time again. The other aspect of our journey we need to understand when it comes to being healthy is that we live in seasons. Every life has seasons, and you should embrace the season of life that you're in, especially when it comes to being healthy. So let me ask you this, what kind of season are you in right now? What's your season of life right now? For me, I'm in the empty nester season. I work from home. My kids are adults. They live in their own place. So I've got a lot more time than I used to. I have a lot more freedom to choose when I do what I do. And so I'm really enjoying this time because I can go to the gym at weird hours, middle of the day when no one is there. It's really nice because I feel like I have the whole gym to myself. I can run at specific times. I can go ride my bike. Like on Saturday mornings, lately I've been training for a race. So I'll get up early and go ride on this road called the Natchez Trace, which is near where I live, but it's about a 30-minute drive there, 30-minute drive back. I ride for 2 or 3 hours. So it takes up a lot of the morning on Saturday. I can do that now because I don't have kids at home waiting for me. I don't have that pressure. When I was younger, my kids on Saturday morning, that was our time. I would let my wife sleep in and I would take the kids and we would do some fun stuff on Saturday morning. And we really enjoyed that time. And it was a time where I got to be with them. And it was that season of my life. So I didn't exercise on Saturday morning. I didn't do anything on Saturday morning. In fact, when my kids were little, that's when I started working out early in the morning because it was the only time. It was the only time I could do something like that. And life is like that. You're going to go through different seasons. You're going to go through different times where, okay, during this season, I can do this. During this season, I can do that. And you want to embrace that and work with that, because being healthy is not everything has to be this way. It's you finding what fits you, what fits the season of life you're in, what fits the health journey you're in right now. Now, it's not easy, and sometimes you just got to suck it up and be a man. Sometimes you just got to get up and go do the workout. But you got to understand that the cost is something that you can adjust. You've got to be willing to pay the price, yes, but you can also be wise in how you choose to do that, what you choose to do. I know guys who they have a small family, they've got kids, and so when they get home, there's no time for them to work out. So they arrange their schedule so they work out during lunch, during their workday. They set the schedule where they have an hour and a half instead of an hour at lunch. They go in a little early to work so they can get that workout in. So they've worked it into their life. Are they going to do that forever? No. But during that season, it's what works best for them. And that's what we want to do as men. Understand the season. Seasonal changes happen, and you want to flow with that. You want to go with that. And the good thing about it is you learn stuff. You learn stuff like time management. You learn how to prioritize, how to set up what's important, what's not. You learn boundary management, what to say yes to, what to say no to. And the amazing thing is all of these things actually help you with life. So you not only get healthier when you fix that workout time in your life, but you also learn how to do all the other stuff better as well. So it makes you healthier physically, but you're also stronger mentally and emotionally. All these things can happen. Your journey of health is one you want to get started on today. It's a journey. You're going to have ebbs and flows. You're going to move in and out, but it's a journey for you and you want to start on it. And the amazing thing is when you start on that journey, it really begins to transform you. It really begins to help you grow and fully develop as the man you were designed to be. All right, guys, closing out the show today, we want to understand that our goal when it comes to our health is to not just hope that we're okay. To say, well, I think I'm good. I'm okay. We want to do more than hope. We want to do something about it. And the truth is, the only person who can do something about your health is you. You're the only one who can decide you want to be healthier. You're the only one who can decide to live a healthy lifestyle. And you know what? It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. But you're a man. It's what you can do. We can all do it. And it starts by having the right expectations. It starts by understanding we need to recognize that outside pressure. Maybe we're trying too hard because we want to look like someone we saw on a movie screen. And that's not realistic. We also want to have a realistic view of life. Where am I at right now? What's going on? And we also want to let the journey unfold. Your health is a journey. You're not going to get there overnight. But if you make the little decisions every day, it'll point you in the right direction. Our design as men is to be healthy. So what we want to do is not waste our potential as men by letting our physical health bring us down. Don't let it be the last thing you think about. And don't rob other people of your abilities as a man by letting your own personal health deteriorate. You want to have good, strong, healthy expectations so you can be a better man.
You've been listening to the Confident Man Podcast. Click subscribe so you don't miss a future episode. You can connect with David on Facebook and Instagram at David the Maxwell. Find resources to help you as a man at theconfidentman.me. That's theconfidentman.me.